Hi Scorpio, welcome to my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. This is a general love reading for the sign of Scorpio for the upcoming week of February. If you're brand new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me. Everything that you need to know about this video and the reading is in the description box below, so please have a look at that. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to view more of my videos. I appreciate your support. I'm happy that I'm getting some feedback and some comments, and very happy that you've returned to watch more of my videos. So thank you so much. For all of my viewers, this is a general love reading, so bear in mind that some of this may resonate for you and some may not. And it can apply to just about anything: romantic relationships, work situations, family dynamics, you name it, it might apply. My intention is always to reach the people who need the message the most and who will benefit the most from the message. So again, take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. I do have Carmilla with me today. She's hanging out behind me on the chair for now. She likes hanging out, and hopefully she won't cause too much trouble today. So let's get started, Scorpio. I want to give this deck a cut, and we'll see what's going on with you guys. Here we go. We're going to start off with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, paired with the Seven of Wands. Queen of Wands in reverse. The Hanged Man. Ace of Pentacles. The King of Wands in reverse. The Seven of Swords in reverse. And the Wheel of Fortune. So we have a King and Queen of Wands in reverse on the table. Scorpio. I want to remind my viewers too that gender of the cards doesn't matter, and if this reading does resonate, you could be either one of these energies. I'll probably pick one to read for, the one that feels the strongest. But let's talk just briefly about these two before I get some more cards out on the table. So the Queen of Wands can be somebody who is overly demanding, somebody who needs to have things their way. This is somebody who has very high expectations for those around her, but doesn't necessarily fill those same expectations for herself. This can be somebody who's very envious or jealous. This can be, in the extreme, a narcissist, somebody who's a manipulator, and a very difficult person to be around. This person seems to be stuck or in a state of rest right now, maybe thinking about something that occurred in the past or something that they're dealing with. We have this King of Wands. I do feel like this is a separate person. The King of Wands in the reverse can be someone who is misusing his power or has given away his power. In the upright position, this is somebody who's a natural born leader, somebody that others look up to. This is somebody who's not afraid of taking on a challenge or delegating responsibility to others. In the reverse, this can be kind of the opposite of that. Someone who has either misused his power or has given it up, or is not acting accordingly based on what a usual leader might, qualities that a leader might empower. This King of Wands has an opportunity presented before him, or something new that might be coming into his life. This might be a business opportunity or a financial endeavor between the two of these people, this King and Queen. There's a level of frustration. And I do feel like these two energies are feeling very defensive. There may have been some wrongs in the past that need to be righted, or something between the two of them that went wrong that needs to be fixed or resolved. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse here. So we have 3 sevens, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, the Seven of Wands, and then the Seven of Swords in reverse. So let me give this deck one good shuffle and we'll get a cut in and see what else we can come up with for your reading today, Scorpio. We have the Four of Wands in reverse, the Three of Pentacles, the Queen is clarified by the Hermit in reverse, the Star in reverse, the Hierophant in reverse, the Five of Wands, it's clarifying the King, the Two of Swords in reverse, and the Knight of Cups. So there's definitely this relationship between these two people feels a little unstable or a little uncertain. I think these two work together or desire to work together, or maybe have in the past. But both have very defensive energy, like they're kind of standing their ground. I think this Queen feels like she's trying to see this King's point of view, or she's trying to understand a situation between the two of them, but I think that she's not sensing that there's a whole lot of hope. That she may be feeling that there's not going to be a compromise. I feel like she thinks that maybe this King of Wands has gone about things the wrong way. There's a sense of competition between these two. Maybe a rivalry. Maybe they are competing for the same opportunity, the same job. But I think this Queen thinks this King is going about things the wrong way and is resistant to working with him or compromising. There is definitely some kind of connection between these two. It could be a romantic connection. But things are definitely unstable and uncertain right now, and both are standing their ground. It feels like to me this King gave this Queen the right to have things her way, but he did it for ulterior motives, maybe? Let's get some more cards on the table for you, Scorpio, and see what else we can come up with. We have Strength in reverse. The Six of Swords in reverse. Three of Pentacles again, this time in reverse. This is clarifying the Queen. The Knight of Swords. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. The Four of Swords, clarifying the King. The High Priestess in reverse. And the Nine of Swords. So there's something threatening this relationship, and it's a disagreement. These two are not seeing eye to eye. This relationship is unstable right now. And it's weakening over time because I think that these two are having trouble communicating or seeing each other's point of view. Most specifically, this Queen, I think that she's trying to gain an understanding of where this King is coming from, but she's having trouble seeing his point of view, and communication seems to have been difficult between these two because of their different standpoints. I think that she wants to take action to fix things, maybe communicate again, or resolve the issue, but I think she's feeling a lack of hope, and she might be feeling stuck right now because of this lack of hope. I think she wants to do something about this, but she's not having much success seeing where this King is coming from. And again, there's some kind of feeling of competition between these two, or some kind of back and forth between these two where there's just a disagreement, or they're each trying to get each other to see their side of the story or see where they're coming from. And it's not working right now. There is an Ace of Pentacles on the table. Some new opportunity coming in the direction of the King of Wands, or possibly both of these energies. They could be a financial opportunity, something that might be profitable. This could be a new financial endeavor, new creative endeavor, new job, a new business partnership that would be beneficial for both parties, but they're going about it the wrong way, and there's a significant lack of compromise. I think one or both parties feels like they have been wronged by the other one. And this needs to be made right before any movement forward can happen. But both are standing their ground. There's a lot of stubborn energy on the table. I feel like both parties are standing their ground and not swaying from their position. So communication has been difficult, but these two either need to work together, have worked together, or are going to be working together with regard to this opportunity, this Ace of Pentacles. It's just right now the relationship is unstable. It's not on solid ground, and there's this sense of frustration and lack of compromise. I think that this one or both parties feels this relationship could be in jeopardy. And it does feel like it could potentially be a romantic connection, but it doesn't have to be. This could be a pair of siblings, business partners, friends. If the King and Queen are spouses, and they could be, this feels less to do about their romantic connection and more to do about a working relationship. But this disagreement, or whatever it is that these two are going through right now, is threatening the relationship itself. Because both are refusing to see each other's point of view or compromise. Let's see what else we can get for you, Scorpio. We have the Magician in reverse. Hanged Man in reverse. The Moon in reverse. Ten of Swords in reverse. The Four of Pentacles in reverse. The King of Cups in reverse. The Five of Pentacles again in reverse. And the Eight of Cups in reverse. So it feels like the relationship, it's the love between the two of them, or the connection between the two of them that actually is what is kind of holding this together right now. Holding these two together, because I feel like they may have given up on this a long time ago. I think this king has in the past, is threatening to or considering letting this opportunity go, because he feels like, because these two can't work together. I know I said at the beginning that I would pick somebody that I'm reading for, but I honestly, I'm having a hard time picking one person whose energy is the strongest. They're both coming out equally strong. So you decide who you are, Scorpio. Or if you're an outsider looking in at this story, perhaps you're cross-watching for somebody that you know. You might be involved in this situation, but not directly. So you could be cross-watching. But both of these energies are equally strong. I feel like this is a conflict that's happened repeatedly. Something that I think this queen is struggling with, feeling like there's any hope for compromise, because this is something that they've dealt with in the past, and it's repeating. She may have revealed some information, or some hidden information or secrets, or vice versa, that has her more and more reluctant to communicate or compromise with this king. I think that as time goes on, and I think as this conflict continues, this king is starting to lose a certain level of compassion for this queen, or starting to feel like he's feeling disconnected emotionally from her because of this conflict. He might be feeling less and less connection with this queen because of this conflict, and that's why he feels like he needs to let go of this opportunity, this Ace of Pentacles, whatever it is these two are working together on, because there's a certain amount of manipulation or deceit going on here, and I think one or both of the parties are blaming each other for the problems. And neither one feels like they're willing to admit fault. But in order to make this work, they have to work together. They both know that. They both know that in order to make this work, they have to be able to work together. So they're stuck having to come back to resolve this issue or whatever this conflict is. And I think that it's gone on over time, and neither one is swaying from their position. Neither one is admitting fault, but this energy between the two of them, this lack of compromise, is causing this relationship to become very unstable. It's becoming weaker and weaker over time, and I think that because these two parties are unable to come together and communicate effectively and resolve whatever issue it is that they're dealing with, the queen has a lack of hope because things aren't changing, and the king is starting to lose respect or compassion or loyalty toward this queen because of the conflict, and he's ready to give up the whole thing altogether. But that's not the right thing. That's not the direction that these two should be going. That's the wrong attitude to have, to just throw your hands up and say, I'm going to give this up. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Because both parties know that whatever this Ace of Pentacles is for them, it would benefit both of them. This is an interesting reading, Scorpio. Again, I can't decide who you might be in this reading, so I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to keep reading the cards the way I am, and you decide what makes sense to you if this is resonating for you. So we have an Ace of Wands in reverse. This relationship and this opportunity is slipping out of the hands of both of these people. We have the Queen of Wands again in reverse. I think this Queen of Wands is more motivated to try to work together or try to communicate with this king than this king is. But her demands and her need to have things her way is keeping him from coming forward or compromising with her. Eight of Wands in reverse. Okay, you just blew a card on the floor with your wings. Okay, I love this bird. I think she's adorable and cute, but she is a troublemaker with a capital T, Scorpio. She knocked the Queen of Wands on the floor. Come here. Okay, if you're going to sit there, that's fine, but please be a good bird. Okay, sorry, Scorpio. So we have Three of Wands in reverse. Temperance. Three of Cups. The Queen of Cups in reverse. Now we have the Queen and the King of Cups in reverse, in addition to the King and the Queen of Wands in reverse, and then the Seven of Wands again. Okay, so let's take a closer look at these. I feel like both parties are trying to manipulate the situation, and because of that, it's becoming more and more unstable, and this opportunity is slipping away as more and more time passes, and both parties continue to maintain their stances and refuse to budge. I feel like this Queen is more willing to communicate, more willing to work with this King and attempt to resolve things, but she's still standing her ground. She is not compromising. So while she wants to communicate and she wants to repair the situation, or is at least motivated to attempt to fix the situation, she's still not budging on her position. So because of that, there's no movement. The obstacles remain in place. The lack of communication or miscommunication continues. And again, it's because of her stance. It's because of her determination to stand her ground. And she's becoming less and less hopeful that things are going to turn around and get better. I think this King at this point in time feels that with time, maybe it's just best to let this go. That if they let go of the opportunity itself, and again, this could be a business, maybe these two are working on some kind of financial endeavor, something that would be profitable, but he thinks if they let this go, if they release the Ace of Pentacles, if they dropped that all together, that it might allow them to come together and repair this relationship. he might feel that the opportunity itself is what's causing the conflict. And so I feel like he wants to give up the Ace of Pentacles. He wants to let that go. But the fact that he doesn't want to try anymore with this Ace of Pentacles has this Queen losing a level of respect or lost love toward him because of his attitude regarding this Ace of Pentacles, because she wants to keep trying, it feels like. Both parties are blaming each other for some wrongdoings, possibly manipulation, possibly deceit. And both parties want this to be resolved because they're fighting for the relationship itself. They're trying to... I feel like there's a desire to maintain the relationship or hold on to the relationship. But as time passes, this is becoming more and more difficult. Again, because neither party is budging, neither party wants to admit fault, neither party wants to admit that they have done anything wrong. Or both are feeling very defensive towards one another. This Queen has either revealed or received some information maybe that she didn't know in the past or that she felt was being kept from her. She may feel that she's been wrong because something was kept from her that she recently found out. Let's get a Dreams of Gaia tarot card for you, Scorpio, and see if we can't get some last minute advice for you, some words of encouragement, something from Spirit that will help you move forward with this situation, maybe come to terms with whatever's going on and resolve the issue. It's interesting because a lot of times with these readings, I can kind of get an idea of maybe who's more to blame than the other, like who's in the right versus who's in the wrong. Both of these parties feel like they're in the wrong. Both of these parties feel like there's just this lack of compromise and a significant amount of stubbornness. Neither one wants to admit wrongdoings. I think the King is a little bit resentful because he feels like the Queen's gotten her way and things aren't working out the way they should. And so he's just ready to give up on the situation altogether. I think that they both want to save the relationship. It feels like that this opportunity, this Ace of Pentacles, whatever this is getting in the way of the relationship. So the King wants to give it up. The Queen feels like she wants to fight for it. But she's not getting compromise. She's not getting cooperation or compromise from this King. And one of their biggest hurdles is a lack of communication or really poor communication. Or an unwillingness to hear each other's sides or come into communication with an open mind. Do you know what I mean, Scorpio? So let's get one card for Scorpio. Let's see what we can come up with to round out this reading, bring it to an end. Maybe give Scorpio a little bit of hope that some kind of compromise can be had, some kind of progress can be made for this situation and for this relationship. honestly, I get the feeling that this King of Wands feels competitive and feels like his position in this situation is being threatened. I don't feel like he thinks he's standing on equal ground with this Queen of Wands. And so he's more willing to just let this go, leave it all behind, in order to save the relationship. But the truth of the matter is, the more time that passes and the more time that passes with this unwillingness to communicate or compromise, the more that the Ace of Pentacles opportunity is slipping away, but also this relationship is, I'm going to take this one, this relationship is being compromised as well. So we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Seven of Swords in reverse came out in your original set of cards. This can be all about being caught red-handed at something, or admitting fault, righting past wrongs, coming clean regarding deceit or shady behavior, that kind of thing. And it came out in your first set of cards. I feel like both parties feels like there's been wrongdoings on both sides. Manipulation, deceit, that kind of thing. But the Seven of Air or Seven of Swords in this deck has a significantly different meaning. If it's in reverse, it's a potential blockage. So this is pretty short. It's just about a quarter of a page, and I'll display the card for you in the upright. And that's my really loud refrigerator, and I apologize. This reading is almost over, so I apologize for the external noise. The Seven of Air reversed represents a need to step back and moderate any extreme or fundamentalist behavior. You do not do your cause any justice by following a fundamentalist path. The only thing this achieves is to make those around you who do not share your beliefs angry and resistant to the changes you are attempting to impose upon them. Instead of opening minds, you can close them tighter than a steel trap. When the Seven of Air reversed appears in your reading, seek a gentler, more moderate approach. Educate instead of trying to indoctrinate. Don't use cruel and punishing methods. They never work. All they do is perpetuate the paradigms that you seek to end. So again, for me, this card in reverse is all about this lack of compromise and this stubborn energy that you've got to have your way. It's your way or the highway. And I do feel that more significantly on this Queen's side. And I'm not trying to throw shade in any way. I think both parties in the situation are at fault in their own way for whatever issues are going on within the situation or this relationship. But if you continue to stand your ground and refuse to hear the other party's side, or consider their point of view, this is going to go nowhere. There's just a significant amount of stubborn energy indicating that both parties are just refusing to admit fault of any kind on their side and laying all the blame on the other person's side. And that's going to keep you in this state of mind, feeling anxious about the situation, feeling like it's going nowhere, feeling like you have to stand your ground and stay on the defensive all the time, because neither party is willing to bend. So Scorpio, I'm going to leave that here. I hope that this gave you some kind of clarity or some kind of way to move forward with regard to the situation. I wish you all the best, and thank you for watching. If this did resonate, please give me a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want. Those are always great too. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you again soon. Bye, Scorpio.